What's up guys, welcome back to another YouTube video, and in today's video I'll be reviewing the all-new Apple Watch S9 or Series 9 and the all-new Apple Watch Ultra 2. So let's get right into it. Okay, so first let's start talking about the S9 or Series 9. Many of you guys might be asking what's different about it, because to many people, if you just look at it like this right here is the Series 8, and you probably wouldn't recognize it. Like if I told you that this was the Series 9 and I went through the whole video and you have to be convinced that this was the Series 9, except for the fact that I just told you, because really there's really no outside difference that you can really look at it and tell. And yeah, that's mainly because a lot of it is the same as the Series 8. The features from the Series 9 is like the Series 8, especially appearance-wise. And a lot of the new features of the Series 9 are mostly like updates, and most of it is not appearance-wise. And the only thing that I could really think of to tell you that would look different, that you can actually like tell that it's a Series 9 by just looking at it, is if I had the pink color, which I don't. But if I had the pink color, I'll pop it up on the screen. That's really the only difference, like the color, because that color is exclusive obviously to the Series 9. But unless I had that, then you really couldn't tell just by looking at it. So I'll be digging deeper into like the different features that's new to the Series 9, and some of the features from the Series 9 will also be updates for the Series 8. But yeah, let's get into it. So first of all, one of the main things that I liked about when I was watching the Apple event, when they were talking about the Series 9, is that it has now a built-in Siri on the actual watch instead of using Siri from your phone. And then what that basically means is that instead of traveling from your watch to the phone, and then back, it'll be traveling just from the watch. So if you have a Siri command, you won't have to wait a couple seconds for it to go back to your phone and get an answer and come back with the answer. Now it's built into your watch. It's faster now, and that means like all the features, like if you ask Siri for something and it says, "Oh, I can't do that," or it says use your phone, now it won't have to do that. Now you could just use it straight from the watch. That also means now you can ask Siri to like show you your health stuff, like how long you slept and stuff like that. Usually you have to go to the Apple Watch app to do that, but now when you ask Siri, since Siri now has its own thing in its own system on the S9 neural chip, then now you could see that just from the watch. You won't even have to go to the phone. And yeah, so now that also means that if you have low Wi-Fi or low cellular connection, it won't slow it down at all because it's on the watch, so you won't have to rely on your Wi-Fi from your phone or your cellular network from your phone, because it's all on the watch by itself, so it won't have to worry about any of that. And another thing that's exclusive to, I'm pretty sure this is an update that's not just for the Series 9. I'm pretty sure it's going to be on the Series 8 as well. It's an update, but it's a name drop. So if you have your Apple Watch and you're meeting somebody new and they also have Apple Watch, if you just like tap your watch together, it shares like your contact, it shares your contact information with each other. And basically, yeah, it's the same thing as with the phones. When you tap your newer phones together, it's iPhone, so you can't do it from Apple Watch to a Galaxy Watch or an Apple phone to a Galaxy phone. But they should really think about doing that, because not everybody has an iPhone, and you still want to share your contact information with people. So Android should really get that feature. That way you could simultaneously do it with anybody you meet. But for now, as far as I know, it's for the iPhones and Apple Watches to use. Especially it's with the new update, so I'm pretty sure that will be watchOS 10 and iOS 17. So you would have to update your iPhone to those and your Apple Watch to those updates to be able to use that feature. But yeah, that's what the that name drop. It's more than you could do it more than just your name. I know on the Apple Watch, I haven't tried it yet, doing it with somebody, but I do know from like having iPhone 15 that you can share like, you can airdrop to people like a video or photos, but just having the phone together, so it's not just name drop. I'm not sure. You might be able to do it from your watch, since you have photos on your watch. You might be able to like share a photo, but I don't know if you can like airdrop stuff like that. But that is a feature that the Apple Watch Series 9 does have, and the Series 9 price will be $399, so it's not too bad, something slight. But if you have the Series 8 already, unless you just want the pink color, then you probably should stay to your 8. But if you have anything like less than the 8, then you might want to get to 9. It's not that expensive, so if you want to update from like a 5 or 6, maybe even a 7, you probably should get the 9 instead of just going to the 8. But if you already have the 8, then you probably should just keep the 8 and not get the 9, and just wait for later. And I actually wonder how far they're gonna get it, because now it's at the S9, so I wonder if they're gonna go like Series 10. I mean, they might, because they did it with iPhone already, and now they're already at iPhone 15, so they might keep going from 9 to maybe 15 or more. But the only thing different, like they did with the name, as far as Apple Watch is concerned, would be Ultra. But we'll get onto the Ultra brand of Apple later. Another feature that the new S9 chip has is now it can go all the way up to 2000 nits of brightness. And that's really impressive. So now you can use it. It's not an action watch like the Ultra is, but now if you're doing like activities that's similar to what you would do with the Ultra, you have that extra brightness. Or if you're in a super sunny environment, or in the summertime mostly probably, it will boost your brightness and you could have a clearer screen. And that brightness also would boost your flashlight. But I'm not really too sure of who uses actually the flashlight. I know I really don't use the flashlight on the Apple Watch, because there's really no point in just having your wrist like this showing. Now if I had like a feature where it had like, if you had it on your wrist and like it projected a light from here and you were just hiding like this, then that would be a big difference. But if you're already going just showing your watch like this around, I mean, that might help some people, but for most people, it really wouldn't matter. But so getting back to it, instead of now you get all the way up to 2000, but now you can also go all the way down to just 1 nit of brightness. So if you're in a movie theater or somewhere in a dark environment where you don't want to interrupt the people around you, you can turn that brightness all the way down to 1 nit. And I haven't seen it in person, so I'm not exactly sure like if it's actually any helpful, because 1 nit of brightness is like really low, especially when you compare it to 2000 when it goes all the way up, and then now going all the way down. Like, is it even still visible even in a dark environment, where you're still looking at your watch and it's that dark? And of course you want to be counting your nits when you're looking at it, but still, if you went all the way down to that low of a brightness, would it still even be visible to like read? Especially like instead of having it like up to your face, would you still be able to read it from here? I don't know. If you have that Series 9, you comment down below if you have tested it, like how high and low the brightness goes, and let me know how well it works. Like, does the brightness actually help make a difference in the sun? And if you're in a dark environment, does that 1 nit actually help you in the dark, or help you not interrupt? And are you still able to read it? Is probably the big question you should be asking. Can you still read it? Can you still see it? Do you have to hold it up to your face to see it? Can you just look at your wrist and like tap the button and look at the time? So yeah, comment down below if you think that's helpful. For me, probably wouldn't make a difference, because I usually keep my watch on the same brightness all the time, whether it's in a movie theater or whether I'm outside. And if you have auto brightness on, it automatically will adjust it, so I really don't even look at how bright my watch is. But for those of you who do care, just let me know. Does it make a difference to you? Does it really help? Is it really something that you should get the S9 Apple Watch for? Or is it something where you could just, it's okay? But yeah. And now, another thing that they did make a big deal about was their new gestures. And as far as I know, you was already to use gestures on watch, but now the watch well, not the watch itself, but the S9 chip inside of the watch has a neural engine which allows it to learn more as a neural, like your brain. So now it has neural functioning, so it can learn from more things that you do. So if it realizes that you do taps and stuff, now it has like a double tap. You tap your pointer finger and your thumb together, and it pulls up all your pages that you last used apps. It pairs up for your music, so you can double tap to pause and stuff like that. You can use phone calls to answer or decline. And yeah, so it's basically, if your hand, like for me, if I had an answer, I'd just tap. But apparently they made this feature because people have like walking their dog or something, and they can't like pull the leash or something, or whatever you're doing. If you have groceries or whatever it may be that you're doing, and you just can't bring your other hand over to tap the screen, now you still do it, and you just double tap to answer and stuff like that. And so I know it may be more convenient, and I know at first it probably will seem weird for people to transition to just tapping to like double tapping your fingers together, but like anything else, it probably will become routine. After you do it for like a week or something, and you have the watch, and you probably just get used to just tapping your fingers together. It'll probably become natural, and like you make a habit of it. So I think that is a pretty cool thing that they did with it. I'm not sure if it'll be useful to like everybody, but I know there's a lot of people out there who have busy lives, walking their dogs, doing groceries, stuff like that, and it really will help them instead of having to like do over. I mean, it saves you a couple seconds. It's not like a big difference, but it does save you. But you know what is a big difference, and what they really emphasized during the Apple event when they were talking about the Apple Watch Series 9 was that it's 100% carbon neutral, and it's their first ever 100% carbon neutral product. And so that will bring them closer to their goal of being a 100% carbon neutral company by the year 2030, as we're in 2023 right now. So they still have 7 years to bring not only just their watch, all of their watches, not just the Series 9, but also the Ultra brand, bringing all their phones, all their laptops, iPads, earbuds, anything that's Apple related, doing all of that, making it all carbon neutral. But I guess that one small watch making it carbon neutral is a big help of encouragement to encourage them to keep on going to make everything carbon neutral eventually by 2030, as they still have 7 years to do it. Now, I'm not exactly sure what makes it carbon neutral. I'm not really sure like what they put into it as of like how that would affect the earth and leave a green footprint on it. But I do know that they reduced box sizes. So now you can store more boxes, which means they use less box to make the boxes, and now they could use less trips to make that from their warehouses to the Apple stores to like your home or wherever you're getting the phone from. So now that the boxes are smaller, now they can store more inside the box. Well, not the box, store more inside the truck and less in the box. That way you get more to the store, and making you have less travel time. And with those big trucks having less travel time means less gas that's going into the environment. And so that in itself, the transportation is not 100% carbon neutral. I know that for a fact because obviously their cars still run on gas. Now, if they were using trucks like the Rivian Amazon delivery truck, and then they said that they slimmed down the boxes and were doing that, then yeah, that would be carbon neutral because obviously that would be electric. But I'm not sure that they're using electric trucks to deliver all of their Apple products. And so in that aspect, then no, it's still not carbon neutral. But the watch itself, like the bands, the watch face and everything itself, was made with recycled goods, so it didn't have as much impact on the environment. And apparently if you pair the Series 8 with any of their new watch bands, the recycled by Hermes and Nike and all that stuff they were bringing out, apparently if you pair this watch with it, any of those new bands, it makes it carbon neutral. So I'm not really sure if that's true, because if that was true, then that would mean that if you paired it last year with any recycled bands, because obviously last year there's still not Apple in itself as a brand, but other like third-party marketers selling recycled bands for Apple Watch. So meaning that they already had carbon neutral products. If they're already saying that the Series 8 watch face in itself was made 100% carbon neutral, and so I'm not exactly sure what that meant by that. But they did say that the Series 9, especially with the new bands, is 100% carbon neutral. So I'm not exactly sure how true that is, but that's what they said. So we'll just have to wait and see. Okay, so that's enough about the Series 9. So let's move on to the Ultra 2. Okay, so I have to say I am a bit disappointed about the Ultra 2 because obviously last year everybody was hyped about the Ultra. It was the first time Apple ever did anything like that. It was a new part of the Apple Watch brand of Apple. As it's not just a regular series this, series that, is now Ultra. And that name in itself just sounds like Ultra. You think of all these cool things that Ultra can do. So yeah, last year when they released it, yeah, everybody looked forward to it was Ultra. It could do this, it could do that. It could do things you've never seen before on a watch. But yeah, so now you have the Ultra 2, and everybody's looking forward to see how can we make all of that, what they did already, better. And I gotta say, there's not really much that they did to make it better, as of just saying that they did something just to make it, just so they could have a watch to release by that time. And so let me tell you what I mean. So first off, brightness. So the battery watch is still the same. The battery on the watch, 36 hours, basic, 72 hours if you put on low power mode. But the brightness, apparently they increased it to 3,000 nits of brightness, because obviously it's an action watch. You're supposed to be underwater, you're supposed to be running in the desert, so it's really sunny and stuff like that. So obviously they brought up the brightness, and because if it was still 2,000, the Series 9 has 2,000 brightness now. So if it was still at 2,000 nits, then it wouldn't be a difference. So of course they had to bring that up to 3,000 to make it and improved and make it where, yeah, that's action, that's Ultra, you can use that out in the wilderness. So yeah, that's what they did. But that's really, like I said, it's not a big deal to just improve the brightness. So now you can look at your depth logs from the watch itself, and again, that only really helps people who deep sea dive. And I'm not really sure how many people would just want to look at all that on a small little screen. You probably won't use your phone anyway. So then again, it's not really a big improvement in that aspect. They did come out with some new bands for it, and also new colors. That's something on my foot. And they also got new band colors for it. I mean, that's really also nothing new, because obviously they released their bands and it was in that set of colors, but there's third-party markets selling different colors. So now all they did was take those colors and branded them Apple, and it's really nothing new. So that's really like, they did new things, but there's nothing really like, wow, look at that, that's way better, or I'm gonna put this Ultra away and go get the Ultra 2. Like, there's nothing like to make people want to do that, especially because the Ultra in itself is $899. So that's a lot of money to spend on something where it's not really doing much different from the one you already have. So if you don't have an Ultra, then yeah, I suggest you get the Ultra 2. But if you already have the Ultra, then I really see no reason to go get the Ultra 2, unless that's something you really just want to invest in, because that is a lot of money to spend on a watch. Especially if you already have the Ultra, and the Ultra 2 is not much different. Now apparently it's carbon neutral if you pair it with any of the new bands. But then again, a lot of people really won't care about that, and they could just keep their Ultra that they already have and take those new bands instead of getting the new watch with new bands. I mean, so it's really not something people would want to do. Now, if you would want to, then yeah, you should. But if you already have the Ultra, then probably shouldn't. And that's just my honest opinion. But yeah, that's really all I have to say about the Ultra 2. I mean, of course they hyped it up, but it's really, if you just really just sit down and actually look at what they said, it's not really different at all. But now it does have the S9 chip in it, so everything that the Series 9 can do, the Ultra 2 can do. So yeah, it has a built-in Siri, just like the Series 9 has. And the only thing different that I could tell you that's different from the Series 9 that the Ultra 2 does have would be the action button. It's now customizable. You can click it and make it do different things. It's customizable, and that's a given because now they took the Ultra button from the original Ultra and they put it on the 15 Pro and Pro Max, and they made it customizable. So it would kind of look bad if they didn't make the one on the Ultra 2 customizable. So now they like paired it, so now the watch and the new phone both have the action button and they're both customizable, which I'm not gonna lie, it actually is really nice to have that action button in there, and especially to customize it to what you want to do. So that I do like that feature about it. And I'm not sure if they're gonna have it an update where you can customize the action button on the old Ultra. But yeah, that's like the base of what's new with the Series 9 and Ultra 2. So, and that's it. Comment down below if I missed anything, or comment below your thoughts on the Series 9 or the Ultra 2, or if you have it, let me know what you think about it. And that's all for today's video. Peace.